When we think of insect phobias, for most people, this conjures up thoughts of spiders, wasps, or other creepy crawlies. For the vast majority of us, the praying mantis would never even make the top 10 if we had to list all the scariest bugs we can think of. Mantises, however, look harmless and even a little bit cute, but are quite literally the stuff made of nightmares. So who are these beastly bugs? What makes them so scary? Are they going to become our new insect overlords? Unless there's a science experiment out there that goes very badly wrong, since they're much smaller than we are and they lack the key advantage of opposable thumbs, although it would make for a pretty terrifying sci-fi movie. Anyway, let's dive in. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new video. Mantises are an order of insects. Their scientific name is Mantadia, that contains over 2,400 species, the largest of which is the Mantidia family or mantids. Mantises are distributed all over the world and can easily be found in most temperate or tropical habitats, anywhere that has mild winters and a good amount of vegetation. The majority of species found in nature are native to Asia, although about 20 species are native to the United States. Many species of mantis stand several inches tall and possess formidable weapons in the form of enormous mandibles and pincers to catch their prey. Though when at rest, the mantis looks downright harmless, in reality they are ferocious carnivores that don't really discriminate between which critters are food and which ought to be left alone. They're willing to eat just about anything they can get their claws into and kill. Due to the size of their massive pincers, mantises are able to eat a huge variety of bugs, as well as birds, reptiles, and even some mammals. Their usual diet mostly consists of bees, moths, beetles, crickets, and fruit flies. Out in the weird and wild world, though, lizards, mice, snakes, hummingbirds, and sparrows also regularly appear on the menu. Basically, if you ever find yourself spending an evening with a mantis, you can rest assured knowing you won't have to cater for any picky dinner guests. You may be wondering how a group of little insects, some as small as just 2/5 of an inch, can go on to kill and devour such massive prey. It's important to remember that there are so many species of mantis that they vary dramatically in size. The largest species, as mentioned earlier, is the mantid, which can grow up to 6 inches long. Let's take a moment to run through a scenario. Imagine an average small insect, such as a cricket, a grasshopper, or perhaps a beetle. Our insect is going about its day-to-day life. Maybe it's had something good to eat or looking for food. Perhaps it's met up with some of its insect friends or is looking for a mate. Whatever our little bug is doing, things are going well until it comes face to face with an enormous pair of eyes behind an even bigger pair of ultra-sharp, serrated pincers. Now, to many humans, even at full height, which is many times that of the mantis, this would be a sight that's disturbing enough to run away from, especially from some of the larger species of mantis. So, for our little insect, this encounter is much more than just slightly terrifying. The mantis, though, has been waiting for some time. He's been watching this little unsuspecting insect going about its day, stalking it, slowly creeping closer, but staying hidden in the foliage and out of sight. Our insect knows there's only one of two ways this little standoff is going to go, and neither of those involve heading to the bar and taking it out over a nice cold drink. Usually, though, whether they decide to fight it out or run away, the outcome ends up the same for the insect. They become lunch al fresco. Mantises have a range of highly specialized, evolved tools, weapons, that make them such successful, ferocious predators. Their first and most obvious advantage is their enormous pincers, or as they're also known, raptorial forelegs. These claw-like structures, though they act as arms, are the mantis's front legs. The raptorial forelegs are large in size and full of strong, powerful muscles that are perfect for seizing prey. What makes these mighty forelegs even more formidable is the sharp thorns that run along them, facing towards each other on each leg segment, ensuring that once the mantis ensnares its prey, it stays ensnared. Another advantage for the mantis is their ability, similar to humans, to turn their heads around to 180 degrees. Many insects don't possess this feature due to the rigidity of their necks. It allows the mantis to stay completely still while still having a large field of view to look out for nearby prey in any direction. Though on the surface, it looks as though the mantis has just 2 large pupilled eyes, this is far from the case. They actually have 5 eyes, and the appearance of pupils on the bigger 2 are nothing but an optical illusion. Looks can really be deceiving. The black dots on the eyes of the praying mantis are actually called pseudopupils. They occur as a result of light being absorbed and reflected in the eye, giving the appearance that they are always looking at you. The mantis has 3 more, smaller eyes located between the bigger ones on each side of its head. Interestingly, they can see in multiple wavelengths rather than just visible light. They can also see in ultraviolet, and they're also the only invertebrates that are known to be capable of seeing in 3D. Oh, and they can fly too. So praying mantises have some incredible adaptations which make them both fearsome and brilliant hunters. But perhaps the most disturbing thing about these sophisticated killing machines is how they consume their food. As they lack venom and ambush their prey in surprise, once an unwilling critter has been ensnared in those powerful front legs, weapons, the mantis simply takes a bite, often from the head or neck, and slowly eats them alive, piece by piece, until there's nothing left that's worth eating. Most insects don't even die straight away after being decapitated. It takes time for this to happen. Cockroaches can even live without a head for up to a week. In recent years, it started to become apparent in every continent except Antarctica that the praying mantis has even developed a taste for birds, in particular hummingbirds. A scientific review found in 2017 that larger species of mantis, such as mantids, have become enthusiastic predators of the tiny birds, and they go about eating them in a truly gruesome way. They burrow in through the eye socket to get to the bird's brain. The mantis's main way of catching the unsuspecting avians is by crouching in wait on bird feeders and plants before launching an attack. In fact, the mantises have become so successful at ensnaring hummingbirds that only 2% of those who are caught escape. In an even more grotesque twist to the story, the review also found that in 2 instances, female mantises were observed feeding on a bird, also while mating with a male. If a meal is particularly large or the mantis isn't very hungry, it won't finish it, and the prey can still be alive when the mantis abandons it half-eaten. This has got to be one of the most agonizing, slow ends that any creature can be unfortunate enough to meet. I don't know about you, but I am so grateful that insect size is limited on this planet by oxygen levels. While the praying mantis is one of the world's most successful predators, it's far from the top of the food chain and does have some natural predators of its own. Mantises have to stand their guard against vertebrates such as frogs, lizards, and birds, as well as invertebrates such as spiders, large hornets, and ants. Even then, many of the mantis's natural enemies have reason to think twice before attacking, as getting into a fight with a mantis is a one-way ticket to wind up in a kill or be killed scenario. If any of the above has made you recoil in horror or just feel a little bit sick, then don't worry, you're not alone. And it's not all bad. While mantises can be terrifying apex predators in the insect world, when it comes to humans, they're pretty harmless. They aren't even generally known to bite us unless they mistakenly see your finger as something tasty to eat. They have no venom and they cannot sting. They make very popular pets and have been known to even be used for pest control. Praying mantises in captivity are kept in vivariums and are usually fed a diet of fruit flies and other creepy crawlies. Mantises in the wild have even been reported to have a particular interest in humans. They likely see us as large, warm, moving objects, perhaps useful for hanging on to, maybe catch a ride, so they can catch any unsuspecting passing insects. Maybe you find mantises exciting, terrifying, gruesome, or even a little bit of each. Either way, there's no denying they're one of the world's most successfully opportunistic predators, with their highly specialized features and a pretty unique ability to adapt their diet.